Hello everybody and welcome back to another game from the League of Dracula. We're joining it a bit late. We'll try and catch up as much as possible. It looks like a vampire's about to mature in Galway. There is 7 points for the Dracula player. So I should introduce the players very quickly. We've got Spencer Wolfheart playing as the Hunters and Terminus playing as Dracula. This game is vital. I cannot stress, this league has been so great. We've played over 90% of all the games in the league and still there is not a single position that is, we know who the player is going to be who occupies that position. Everything is still up for grabs. There are, I think, 5 or 6 players. I wrote this down earlier. Yeah, there are 6 players who are currently kind of in jeopardy of making it into the knockout phase or not. I mean, 5 out of these 6 will, but I don't know which 5, right? So all of them are up for grabs. Spencer and Terminus are 2 of those players. Basically, whoever wins this game will be in the knockout phase, guaranteed, unless I fucked up with the calculations. The person who loses this game will still have a chance of qualifying. Spencer has another game after this, so if Spencer loses, he'll have a second chance, and even then, if he loses that one, he might still qualify. Terminus loses this, will probably be in a bit of a graver position, but then will be dependent on the result of the match between Ariel and Randiv that is about to start right now as well. This is just so complicated. But anyway,
the tangled web we weave.
Exactly, and keeping me straight in the commentary booth, keeping me on the straight and narrow, and trying to keep me focused and understanding everything that's happening is Captain Gyro.
Hi everybody, me again.
Yeah, we just come off another live stream. It's a bit of a mental day of Fury of Dracula. So, yeah, I don't know if many people will be watching this live, because the previous live stream finished, and I told people to come over here, but I realized only 2 people are watching, and that might just be me and Gyro. So, I don't know if anybody will be watching.
If you build it, they will come.
I hope so. I really, really hope so.
We got another England start. Either that or he ended up here, but it looks like he started here.
Well, given the fact it was a Galway mature,
Oh, okay.
Ireland. It was an Ireland start. Yeah.
No, that's just a special flavor of the English start. Just don't tell the Irish that.
We'll keep it quiet.
Another Scouser Dracula, eh? He's got another Scouser mob with him too?
Yeah, will there be... Oh, is Van Helsing going to die in Liverpool again? Oh, no.
Oh, come on. Not like this. He's so young.
Oh, escape route. Oh, but you're not using it against Dracula? Oi, oi, oi. Oh, good fog. And there's... Yeah. Well done. Oh, my goodness.
Maybe he wants to beat up Dracula, you know? You escape from the new vampire so you can beat up Dracula tonight. You don't have to escape from him. He's going to show us how it's supposed to be done, Scott Sword.
Clearly.
Andre Zott, pay attention. This is what you do.
Warcraft
but in all seriousness... No, go ahead.
I was saying Warcraft just dipped into the game and just sent me a message saying, Mamma Mia, here we go again. With the fucking Liverpool. Oh, goodness. Oh, his Aggie. Yeah, well, I guess the escape route would have been worth it if it wasn't for fog.
Perfect. Got Aggie.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, you know, and thinking about that last game, I said a lot of like, oh, he should have done this, he should have done that. To be clear, it's not so much that we're watching and saying, oh, you could have just done all these things and the game would be so much easier. The game's so much more complicated than that, right? We just watch it and digest it as we see it. It's not so much that it was obvious that you should have done X, Y, or Z. It's more just like that's the way things pan out.
And
especially with checking those cities in Germany, like who knows? Dracula might have actually moved to Frankfurt, and then you could have just killed him in a 3-on-1.
Right, and the thing is, like, we were saying the things that the Hunter player should have done differently, or could have done differently. But then, if the Hunter player had done that, then Dracula would have played differently. So everything would have been different from then on, right?
Right. The whole game state would have changed. Welcome, Quincy Morris. Yeah,
Yeah.
what are we watching? I know. Good question. Dracula's got 7 points.
Yeah. We missed it. We've just come off another live stream, so we have absolutely no idea at all what's been happening. I mean, there was a couple of hide scouts, evil presence. I assume they were negative. Newspaper reports was probably what revealed Galway, I presume, but Dracula matured a reckless vampire and got 7 points out of it. Oh, Fog's in the discard. Oh, that's the one from Liverpool. Yeah, one Muppet. Why is there a spy in discard? What is happening
Feed.
here? What is happening here?
Why did he feed? Oh, because he had to cross the Irish Sea earlier, right?
Yeah, he didn't wolf form, I don't think. So, but now, I don't know if I like that very much. Because now, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go Irish Sea, North Atlantic? I guess you are with Godalming and Seward overcommitting. I assume so.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah, exactly. What the heck is going on here? Yeah. Yeah, this game is vital, by the way. As I say, so in case everybody missed it at the top of the live stream, the winner of this game is guaranteed to be in the knockouts. The loser of this game could still make it into the knockouts. Spencer has another game left over against Quincy Morris. If Terminus loses, Terminus could still qualify, but then has to hope that Ariel beats Randiv, which is happening right now. So it's almost better that in some ways these two games would take place at the same time, because they don't know what the result is. They can just play it with, like, imperfect knowledge, and they just try to win, which is what you should do anyway, regardless of if you know you can still qualify if you lose. You still play to win, right? Because obviously the higher up the table you get, the better.
It's interesting here how Dracula has scored his 7 points, but since he can't layer anything for a long time, in terms of encounters, he might be set up for like a weaker back half right now, right?
Right.
That's something to consider as hunters. Is he's especially you got feed and hide too.
Yeah.
So
And
he's
hide got
going to be
used.
able to turn Swansea into a lair. If Liverpool matures, then I mean he can pretty much say goodbye to layers for like almost the rest of the game. If it doesn't mature, it's still going to be a long time before he can put down any layers, and those layers are going to be in England, so they're not going to be likely that meaningful. Okay, he's going to sea,
Makes sense.
and you
Doesn't wanna
can't layer
risk it.
sea zones,
No.
so his encounters might be a bit crap if you're lucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially we saw Spy got used earlier. That's a powerful card. Don't know what these two things are, which got wiped from. Why are there two things in the discard? I'm so confused about it. Because we just joined so late. I just saw literally the vampire mature. Went, oh cool, okay, that's 7 points for Dracula. But the Hunters are really overcommitted to Britannica here.
Oh yeah, but if Dracula starts putting it on a trail, maybe you can ignore some of it and kill him instead. Because, like I said, his trail might not be that meaningful.
Mm-hmm. But this is
Maybe.
if Godam's got a stake, then this is very efficient.
Oh, 2-on-1?
Well, I guess that'll be the test. If you got a stake, you don't do the 2-on-1. You don't waste Van Helsing's day action for this.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
Never mind. He doesn't have a stake.
Oh, he has a garlic wreath, though.
I assume Van Helsing started in Britannica. I assume. So, a little bit of sort of somewhat insider knowledge a little bit. Terminus and I talk quite a bit. He's a very studious player of the game. And these two players played in, I think it was phase 2, if I remember right. No, I don't know what phase it was they played. Was it phase 3 or... I can't remember. At some point earlier in the league, these two played against each other. And Terminus was really kind of freaked out by the way that Spencer played Hunters, because Spencer in that game did not play the meta, I'm going to sit and supply and do lots of things. As soon as he discovered the trail, he started in the east with Mina and Godalming and scanned Baltica, moved across to Austria-Hungary, scanned that, moved across to Germania, scanned that.
The old-fashioned way, yep.
Right, and he kind of freaked out Terminus a bit, because then we've seen it in other games, like Geordie's in the chat. Hi, Geordie. Like, Geordie's experienced it too, that Spencer can play this very, very aggressive form of Dracula. So I guess to try to counter that, he goes to Ireland and says, right, I'm going to guarantee myself 7 points, drag you all the way over, and then I leave. You're not supplied up. You can't excellent weather back across. Blah 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 blah. I assume that's what Terminus is doing here. But this is kind of the interesting thing with this, because they've already played in this league. Terminus has learned about how Spencer could potentially play. But then typical then. You do that and Spencer plays standard. There is a horse in discard, by the way, which I assume wasn't a hunter death, which it can't be a hunter death. 2 stakes as well. So yeah, it looks like Spencer is kind of playing an anti-horse sort of meta. Have we seen a lot of Britain starts this tournament? I feel like I've seen a lot. I'm going to say no, to be honest. I haven't seen that many. I know the last 2 games have been Britannica starts, but not really. I think it's because you do it all the time, Quincy. Maybe that's why you see them more often. I think we've seen them just as often as we normally do, really. I've seen way more Italian and Eastern starts. So, yeah, I haven't seen many Britannica at all. Oh, Geordie's watching Aerial versus Random. Very good. Okay, well done. You got the multitasking
Nice.
on the go.
Nice,
Yeah.
I approve.
I don't think anybody's streaming it, which is a real shame, but it is what it is.
It's the bang. Is he
You
gonna
never-
have holy bullet?
You never know. If this game is somehow insanely quick, then we can. He does
have holy
bullets.
bullets, and he's gonna use them.
Yeah, makes sense because then Van Helsing could just punch and this vampire dies, right?
Nice, holy bullet pistol. I like it.
Yep. nicely done.
Nice, well played.
Didn't need the stake. It makes sense now. Now I've checked the discard pile. There are 2 stakes in there. So Janzo Kodami has 6 unlucky. There's a knife. What is happening with hunters discarding knives these days? Or today at least, anyway.
They're going out of fashion. You know, it's all about the holy bullets now.
Yeah. I mean, holy bullets do more damage. It's a one time.
They do more damage than landing like that. Is a good point.
As a one-time.
It's also 2 cards.
Yes, right, rather than 1. Yeah, you're right. Spot on as always. You never go. If this game is somehow insanely quick, then we can maybe watch Aerial and Random as well.
Although, to be fair, while it is 2 cards, the holy bullets themselves do as much damage as landing a knife.
Yes.
And you still have the gun.
Yeah, especially if it's a rifle and there's an escape as a bat, that would be as
Right.
same as a knife. It can't just escape as a bat. I guess it depends on what you want, right? Are
In
you trying
some
to
ways,
burst
there's a
something,
lot
or you
more
want sustained
potential.
damage? Yes. If you're trying
But
to-
yeah, I guess there's just as much potential in a knife, because you could land a knife twice, and that's 6 damage.
But then if you land a rifle with
But-
holy bullets twice, that'll be 2
That's
plus 3 plus
7.
2. I don't know. It depends. Are you trying to burst something fast, or you want that sustained, reliable damage, right?
And yeah, I've played Spencer Wolfhart in a friendly game where he did what I call the old-fashioned way, which is I call it that because that's what I used to do before I learned about the supply meta,
Mhm.
which is where you start Mina with somebody else, either Godalming or Van Helsing. Typically, the logic is that if she's with Godalming, they have access to better train tickets, and then she can use her night supply to use Psychic Bond. He can handle the ticket situation and the trading them.
Mhm.
Either that, or you can put her with Van Helsing, and the logic there is that they kind of just you take your 2 weakest people and stick them together so they're stronger together.
Right.
And then you just have whichever pair of them you have, you plonk them down somewhere and you Psychic Bond, and then you move and you Psychic Bond again from region to region as you go.
Right. But there's something I was having to explain a little bit, because Terminus and I think other Dracula players are kind of being a little bit sort of shocked by this strategy. But then the way I kind of view it is, okay, if you can maybe anticipate this is going to happen, as a Dracula player, then you have to fake and adapt to it and go, okay, the hunters are moving a lot, so they're going to put a lot of pressure on the trail. I'm not going to have a huge amount of time to escape, but at the same time, they're not supplying very much. So then you have to maybe shift tack in terms of what type of encounters you throw down, when you play your wolf forms, that sort of thing, and then suddenly the hunters might run out of steam, even if they have managed to supply up some good stuff in the first week. Once that burst goes, then they have nothing. So as long as you can survive that sort of initial burst, and you don't take too much damage from it,
Yeah, you weather the storm.
yeah, and I think then you're okay. Because then the hunters kind of go out with a whimper because they haven't accumulated stuff. This I like.
And the problem with it too,
oh, sorry.
it's far too easy for Dracula to exploit. Is the problem? Dracula can just catch wise to what they're doing. Go, oh, next turn he's gonna go from Munich to Milan and scan Italy, so I can go from Zurich to Nuremberg, right?
Right. Or go if you're in Italy, you
it's
move towards
far too
Adriatic.
easy.
So even if they find you in Italy, who cares? You're escaping and going the other side of the map then, by the time they get into Italy.
Right. I mean, you can do all kinds of manipulation once you realize what the other guy's doing with the psychic bond and how he's using it. Whether he's going from region to region or if he's just staying in the same region and scanning it over and over.
But then again, then the question is though, if you're playing against a person like a newer Dracula player, even though Dracula as a role is naturally easier to pick up, maybe not easier to master, I'm not saying that, but easier to pick up, you might still be very confused by it, especially if you come into the community and you learn very quickly, oh, there's this meta where you supply and do all this sort of stuff. You could get caught off guard a lot by that. And then you start trying to be a little bit sneaky, you get caught in a position where you can't easily escape, you get walloped a lot. It's
yeah, you can throw Dracula like a funny look, so to speak. You know, he's unprepared because he's not expecting it.
Yeah.
One thing I do think is if you're going to Psychic Bond early like that, you're really better off waiting until Dracula puts down his first encounter. Because it almost really doesn't matter where his starting location is, in my opinion. It like hardly matters at all. What matters is where he puts down the first encounter.
Right, because that's the thing you have to go and deal with.
Right, precisely. So if you're in Austria-Hungary and you scan the first night, you learn that he's not there, but you don't really learn anything else. Whereas if you wait till the second night, he has to put the encounter down, and now you know, okay, the encounter's definitely not in Austria-Hungary.
But I think this is the advantage, and to be clear to everybody, like I will talk to any player about strategy, but I try to help out the new players as much as I can, but I don't impose anything on them. But because Terminus is quite a talkative player and is very willing to sort of ask questions and discuss strategy, I will talk with him about it. But I will not ever give like really direct advice. I will try to sort of describe the pros and cons of different strategies. Because it's not as simple as just say, all right, to counter this type of strategy that the Huns are doing, you do this. Because imagine that doesn't work, right? There'll always be cases where it doesn't work. But I think, you just try to sort of encourage that sort of thought process rather than just telling the person, this is what you do to counter it. It's just then, it just creates this longer, more sort of critical discussion about the game rather than just be like, how do you deal with this? This is what you do. Okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah, agreed.
So it's been kind of indirect advice I've been given, rather than just be like, oh, right, okay, you counter it this way. But it also helps the fact that Spencer and Terminus have played each other already before. So Terminus has got that experience of, oh, it's Spencer, right, he might do something a bit wacky, he might throw away horses, right, I'm going to have to play it this way. But then Spencer might mix it up and play standard. I was noticing something that you'd probably be very happy with. The psychic scan potential in Bordeaux is huge.
Oh yeah, that's big. That's why Dracula's taking so long right now.
Yeah, I bet he wanted to wolf him into Gallia, but now can't do that.
He has to move an extra sea zone, probably North Sea or South Atlantic, most likely.
Right, but then the problem is it runs into the same issue as last game.
Yeah,
like,
what happens if they just go to Madrid and psychic bond there?
Yeah, or I know they're a little bit further away, but they're in Paris and you rail up to Cologne, psychic scan Germania, and you find them there. Then you're in a real heap of trouble because you've used wolf form and they now know what location you're in, more or less. And they could, if they got enough movement, they can corral you and cause real issues. We'll see if Spencer can do it more effectively than in the previous game that we saw.
You maybe not.
But that's also an experience thing. Maybe you don't wolf form.
Do you maybe just consider it? 51 cards in the event deck, buddy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you could land in 12, and maybe it's happy days because they don't have the CG, and you still have Wolfform Live. Or heck, if you landed in Hamburg, right, or Amsterdam, and you still have the Wolfform Live, then you can maybe get to Strasbourg. After that, maybe you can shake them off your tail, right, because you've got that maze of cities to work with,
Right.
or potentially escape as a bat from Strasbourg. You can't be too cowardly.
No.
Right? If you just wolf form to Berlin here or something like that, I mean, sure, that might work out for you, but I'm more of the mindset of like you actually want to provoke something here. You want to provoke a renewed vigor play that doesn't work out for them. You want to provoke a CG that doesn't work out for them, maybe. I mean,
Yep.
Obviously it depends on where he goes and what happens, but imagine if he goes to Spain and they renewed vigor and land on him and he's on fog, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then he wolf forms to Alicante and goes to sea.
Oh, that's unfortunate. This is pressure return. Money, yeah, I think the issue is like, do you move it? See, 2 sea spaces is really obvious in North Atlantic, so you can't really do much. But if you move a 3rd sea space, it's like you're giving the hunters time to play missing research, to do more supplying.
Damn
Potentially
if you
pick
do,
up.
damn if you don't.
Yeah, pick up a money trail. Money trail would be amazing. It just eliminates all sort of doubt. Another knife being discarded. What the hell? Oh, that's. Oh, that's kind of good. He's not in English Channel then. He's in North Sea or South Atlantic.
Okay, I mean,
Could have been
yeah,
better
we kind of already knew that, but
would have been good if Gadami was still in Edinburgh or already got to Hamburg in time.
I mean, it would actually be kind of unfortunate if Dracula went back to England right now. Like, what if he wolf forms to Manchester, or he just lands in Edinburgh?
Oh, from North Sea. Oof.
Yeah, that would be kind of irritating if I was the hunters.
I guess it depends on how equipped are they. Edinburgh would be really risky because you could get a 2-on-1. Is Gadami really going to land back in Edinburgh though?
Right, exactly. That's the last thing he's gonna do.
Is it?
Germany's too important. Oh, this is interesting. So now we're looking at English Channel or Mediterranean. Probably Med.
Hmm. Is he going to like wolf form back to Swansea so he's got a double up encounter maybe? And rumour it? Hmm. Yeah. If Dracula is in North Sea, he's not adjacent to Gadami. Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, is he on the same boat?
Literally on the same vessel.
Yeah. Dracula's just hiding in like on a tarpaulin in like a lifeboat or something. I hope they don't see me. I hope they don't find me. If this ship starts sinking, I'm screwed.
No, there's nothing here, Van Helsing. The boat's just full of old boxes of dirt.
Exactly.
Damn it, Arthur! That's exactly what I told you to look out for. He hides in the boxes of dirt.
Oh. Wow. That's the thing. That's the reason why the whole money trail flavor text, right? Is to do the fact it's the shipment of all the the crates of dirt.
That's right.
Tips off the hunters. It's not just Dracula. It's not like he's in like a rowing boat all on his own. He's got his bloody crates of dirt going with him.
Ooh, it comes with baggage. Speaking of Dracula's Tinder profile, comes with baggage. Do be aware. The house may smell musty. What I love, one of my favorite little moments for Dracula in the book is when they sneak into one of his lairs in England, and they find, amongst other things, papers and money and the like. There's a bucket. Oh, he did go back to England. I knew it. There's a bucket on the table full of dirty, like dirty and bloody water. And it's because he uses it to wash himself up. You know, he can't go walking around the town all covered in dirt and people's blood.
Obviously.
So he takes this bucket of gross, nasty water and just washes himself off just enough to be presentable. I just love that moment because it makes him feel so real, right? Like,
yeah.
it's like a tiny little world building moment, you could say.
He's a monster, but he's a monster who cares about his appearance, clearly.
Well,
And
at least
how
enough
he's
to
perceived.
to continue his subterfuge.
Yes, exactly. Right. I think that was a mistake not rumoring that. Because the problem is, hiding won't work. Well, I mean, he can hide, but he doesn't get an encounter. Feeding means you can't play. You have to move to another city to throw down a rumor. What he could have done here is rumored Swansea, feed, then move to Liverpool, and he can throw down another rumor. But because of the timing, he might only throw down one rumor, which might be the difference between winning or losing. Depends on how well equipped Van Helsing gets. That's the thing. Good, he's not charging in. That's experience of hunter play. You don't want a situation where you just jump into these two encounters. That's just asking for trouble. But then look, the Hunters have moved all the way down to Marseille for nothing. Went all the way to Hamburg for nothing.
Oh yeah, don't get me started on the movement. But yeah, like you could still have the rumor for later, though, right?
Yeah, but I think there's a way you could throw down double rumor in Britannica and then leave, and then suddenly the Huns are like, "Oh my god, I got basically three rumored encounters to deal with, and if I let any of them mature, I lose the game." And who cares about the rest of the hunters on the mainland, right?
That's a good point. If you double rumor here, and Van Helsing isn't enough manpower to deal with it,
yeah,
then you're kind of just like scot-free at that point. Like they have to converge to deal with it, and you're going the other way.
Just runs out the clock, going to sea until something matures, and that's it. GG.
I mean, you can send Godalming to England to back up Van Helsing, and that leaves your other two hunters on the mainland to intercept Dracula when he lands.
But the problem is
because that was kind of what we were just doing, and it didn't really work.
Right, and the thing is, because Godalming spent 2 turns moving to North Sea and to Hamburg, he's had to then spend 2 turns going back to Edinburgh. Those are 4 turns he hasn't supplied. So I know he's got 3 items, but what if he hasn't got a stake?
English start can be such a sticky situation if it's not handled correctly.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, all your movements, how do I put it? It's like the ramifications of them suddenly become much more felt.
Yes. Yeah. Because you don't have horses to bail you out.
Right, exactly. You normally, if you make a small mistake, it's not that big a deal because you can take a train or a horse or a chartered carriage or a sense of emergency, and suddenly you correct that mistake. But with England, it's like every step counts for so much more.
Yeah, nicely done here.
Mm-hmm.
I assume it's not double.
If Dracula wants to go to London, let him. English Channel's on the trail.
Yes, agreed. And this is why I think rumoring as soon as you land in Swansea was important, because now you can't go to Liverpool because it's blocked. I think you had to move to Liverpool last turn.
He's risking a fight.
Yes, yeah. I think you should move to Liverpool last turn, then feed. I think. Maybe one of the more helpful cases, but the problem is now the risk of renewed vigor is greater. So you're going to have to leave now. He can leave, he doesn't take penalty damage, so that's thanks to the Immortal update, you know, IRC is going to slide off the trail before he moves, but now suddenly you've got a non-rumoured thing. It's not as threatening anymore. It's still pretty bad if it's a vampire that matures, because then Dracula just has to land to win, but it's not quite the same.
Yeah, as forcing them to do it.
Because once if he suddenly draws Rufus Smith now, right, Dracula has to move so many sea spaces, he can't do that.
Quincy Morris pointing out that one of the themes of the book apparently is the mundanity of the monstrous. I can get behind that. Yeah, I mean Dracula has to lug around his boxes of dirt sometimes by himself on his own cart.
Yeah.
And when it's not that, you know, it's just getting shuffled around by his henchmen.
And they're then dropping the boxes like, "Oi, be careful of that. That's my personal property right there." If you can't do it, I'll carry it myself.
He relies on his money to carry out his evil schemes too.
What a chore. He's constantly having to give backhanders to the mob, right? The Sakani. Because they're going to spill the beans. Maybe it's just a thing. Maybe they're not loyal to him. Maybe they're just blackmailing him. I'm not being serious
No,
with that suggestion,
they're
by the
in
way.
it. They're in it for the items they get to steal.
Oh, clearly. Yeah, and when
Yeah.
people in the castle start throwing...
That's a nice knife you got here. You have it.
Or when people in the castle naively start chucking money at them to help them. And then
Please, get me out of here.
And just rat them out to Dracula anyway, but then take the money.
Yeah, Quincy Morris says he's the Lord of Darkness, but he still has to fill out paperwork and hire a lawyer and ride in a stagecoach. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. He is so bound by his restrictions. He's such a slave to his powers.
The problem is now, like, all that great. Oh, great, he tricked the hunters. He wolf formed to Britannica. Now what? He's back in the same position. He's having to take more sea damage. the Godalming's now ahead of him, kind of. Geordie say just do all the same seas and go back to Britannica again.
Just roll it back, let it rock.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, I mean, why not? Yeah, you're risking bad stuff. It's only if CG gets drawn, you get CG'd in English channel, you're in big trouble. I don't think that was really worth it, honestly. All of that for just 2 encounters, which are not even rumoured. Van Helsing could just heal. I was going to say, Van Helsing should heal and then go in tomorrow.
He wants a train ticket instead.
Clear, yeah.
So now Dracula's in the IRC, and if he has he's not going to have the balls to just land in Galway. Like...
Nah.
I'm sorry, Dublin.
Dublin. Nah, no, not when Godalming can just block Galway and then you're screwed, right?
Yeah, no, you'd never do that. So he's in the North Atlantic now. Now, what do you do with Godalming? Because if you land in Bordeaux or not, Dracula might just land in Galway.
I
but
don't
I
mind
doubt
that.
it.
I don't mind if he goes to Galway because then he's blocked in by the Irish Sea if you get there quickly enough.
Yeah, you're right.
And the problem is he's just giving Seward and Mina more turns to supply. So he's more like, look, he's down to 35 cards now. He's over halfway through the deck.
He wouldn't do anything that wacky. But then the question becomes, where do you put Godalming?
I guess Bordeaux. Oh, he's sending him back again.
This is unbelievable.
There's a pleasure cruise going on here.
Lord Godalming's pleasure cruise. We're going sailing.
Back to Bordeaux again. Deja vu over here. What the hell?
Shuffling them around.
Oh, I've got a really funny story to tell you. This is from a really old video I did with Roscoe. I think he was playing a match against maybe Burke Marley or somebody. And you know how the animation to go from North Sea to North Atlantic takes ages?
Yeah.
Roscoe was playing as Hunters, and the Dracula player wrote in chat, "Oh wow, that sea animation took ages." So that Roscoe knew exactly where he was.
You gotta be careful what you say. How did you know I was in the North Sea? I didn't. You just told me.
Oh, love it.
Oh man.
Yeah, exactly. Godalming. He got the VIP, the drink package, the first class cabin. No, you know what he did? He was on one boat going from North Sea to North Atlantic, and he saw another one going back in the opposite direction. He just jumped across onto it.
Well, if he lands tonight, he can't wolf form.
You know what
happens? What happens if he goes to Edinburgh?
No, you know what would be really funny? If Swansea doesn't get dealt with, he layers it, and then he wolf forms back to Swansea.
Wolf forms back to Swansea. And he's like, "Oh right, I forgot. I had one more card I wanted to put down here. Forgot about that." Just had to stop by one more time.
Well, I mean,
Fury of Dracula, but I refuse to go anywhere but Swansea.
It'll be 4
He
encounters, not
gets
5, but
he
still.
he gets 10 points, right? And then he kicks in the Fury of Dracula, and he does it all over again to get the 13 points. Has to land at Swansea one more time.
He could do it. It looks like Van Helsing's going to ignore it.
Oh, this is Pirate Dracula. This is why people complain about Pirate Dracula.
Oh. Fun fact, in 2nd edition you weren't allowed to backtrack at sea, you had to land first. Oh, it was the hunters. Ah, that, I mean, it makes sense thematically, right? You have to be moving in a forward direction. Unless you're thinking,
You
oh,
couldn't exactly.
you got a private boat, maybe.
Yeah, where you could just tell the captain, turn this ship around.
Yeah, bribing the captain.
I've heard of a house rule that was kind of interesting. This was back when people thought Dracula was like way too overpowered, right? Or lots of people
People still do Gyro.
Yeah, you're right. But anyway, a house rule I heard that was kind of interesting. Oh, Dracula gets a card. Dracula has to charter a ship, right? So he picks where he's gonna land, and then he like selects that before he actually goes to sea. And then he like sets that aside.
Ah.
Isn't that wacky? I don't know how you'd really work that out with like, because sometimes wolf form is a thing,
Right.
and sometimes it's not. But assuming you didn't have powers, like assuming you didn't have wolf form, then I guess that would work.
Van Helsing has no crucifix or heavenly host. Is he actually going to go back to Swansea? The ones of CG.
Well, I mean, he could go to he would have to go to English Channel right now.
Right, and the problem is if you've wolf formed to Swansea, then suddenly CG gets played. You're gonna have to take penalty damage. Oh no, you can just go to Liverpool if it's not blocked, I suppose. Oh, what a wacky game.
Maybe he's in the channel right now.
I bet he's in the channel right now. I bet he is.
I thought Dracula didn't like to sail.
Well, clearly this one's got his swimming trunks on. Oh my goodness. What is happening? You have to mature...
Now, what do you...
Surely you have to mature Swansea here, and then you wolf... You don't lair Swansea. You mature it, and you wolf form back to Swansea.
You take the 3 points, and then you can win at Fury of Dracula time.
You have to, right? Oh, there's another horse gone. That is Van Helsing, he doesn't need it. Pistol.
Now I wonder if he's just gone full on, like, I just need to supply my way out of this mode.
I think, yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, he hasn't had much choice. If Dracula's going to stay at sea all the time, he's 2/3 away through the deck. I dread to think what he's picked up. It might be too late. A lot of Dracula events, though, in the discard pile, by the way.
I mean, let's not forget he could be in the Mediterranean.
Oh, that's huge.
That's Mediterranean.
He's in Mediterranean.
Has to be.
So do you just keep going?
That's amazing.
The
local rumors, even like when it doesn't work, it can still work.
No, that's huge. That's massive information.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. It's funny. It doesn't actually have to flip over the card to help you out.
Yeah, Lucky Find got discarded, Vampire Lair got discarded, 2 newspapers got discarded, Wax Cylinders got discarded, which would have been amazing to check Swansea. I guess maybe he didn't have the stake and didn't want to faff around with switching it? Or maybe he's just got 3 better cards, but Vampire Lair would be really critical right now.
I don't understand why you would throw out the Vampire Lair and give him Swansea. You got to do one or the other, right?
Yeah, you have to.
Because if he gets 10 points, that's really bad.
Yeah.
But if he gets 10 points and you play Vampire Lair, that's not a big deal. Or if you don't play the Vampire Lair.
Okay, you got a Vampire. Okay, that's all right. I was really worried it'd be double rats.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
mean, with a rumor, it'd be GG. But with a rumor, he probably would have also tried to stop it, or he would have prioritized playing the Vampire Lair.
right. Oh, he's wolf forming from
Wolf
Met.
Form
Oh,
from
I don't know if I agree
Mediterranean.
with that.
There's no need to. Vampire Lair's in the discard pile. You can sail
Oh,
on.
this is so greedy. I don't know if I agree with this. Unless it's a fake wolf form to Cagliari, but then you...
Rufus isn't even in play.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you could just go straight to the Terranian, Ionian. By then, it's Monday and you win.
Unless he's wolf form to Genoa, which would actually be the safest play here. But if the hunters realize that, they'll just jump to
Yeah.
Genoa immediately, and then Venice... Oh man, I really don't like that. Unless it's a fake wolf form to Cagliari, then that's understandable.
And I mean, you might be trying to provoke, like I said, like you provoke a renewed vigor here.
Yep, renewed vigor. There you
A
go.
la he's doing it, yes. But the time to do that is past. You don't need to do that anymore. You have 10 points on the board.
Yeah, if you
You know what I mean?
if it's
Like
on 7,
you
it's a
do
different
that in the
story.
middle of the right, yeah. You try to bait that out in the middle stage of the game, but right now you don't need to.
Whoa, he's playing.
It's CAG.
But he played renewed vigor before he was able to search Cagliari. You use surprising return first, search Cagliari, and then you decide if you can play renewed vigor. What if he doesn't have the stuff to get over to Cagliari today?
He doesn't. I mean, well,
Yeah,
you
cool.
could take a train. You could take a train to Marseille, and then you could excellent weather there.
Yeah, we saw it in the game between Strider and Quincy. But
You have to do that.
the problem is he played the renewed vigor without knowing where he was. So maybe Spencer was worried that he would not be able to play the renewed vigor after surprising return, but that's been fixed. You can play renewed vigor after surprising return if it's Mina who's holding on to surprising return.
You can choose one at a time, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, you can choose one. You can skip all the others, choose surprising return, and then the prompt will ask you again, do you now want to use renewed vigor? And then you say yes or no, depending on...
Well, let me put it to you this way. Maybe he has the other one.
Right, and he's going to use this one to position, and then jump on tomorrow.
The Vampire Lair, that's the problem. If you'd have played it instead of discarding it, you would still have some opportunities there, because Dracula would land and go up to 11 points,
Yes.
and then you renewed vigor and kill him.
Yes.
You use this renewed vigor like Pirate Joe, just to get everybody in position, just get all your ducks in a row, get resupplied, get in better position to threaten Dracula. Then you use the other renewed vigor, like Scott's sword, to finish him off, to pull out the assassination plan.
Right, because then Dracula might be thinking, oh, he's used one renewed vigor, there's no way he's got a second one. Wait, why is he trading with Godalming? Godalming can't get there. What is happening? I'm so confused. And like, yeah, the Vampire Lair, maybe the hunter who drew it had...
till he can win.
I'm so confused. I don't know what's happening. Oh, Mina has a full one, by the way. Not the type of thing you want to be revealing on her, but maybe there's no choice.
No, not at all. You don't want to be showing it like that, but right, you gotta do what you gotta do.
But if she excellent weathers, heroic leaps him. Oh, okay, never mind.
Oh.
The only way would be that the person who drew Vampire Lair just had so much good stuff that they didn't want to throw away one of the other things. But I agree, Vampire Lair is so valuable here. Get it to Van Helsing. If Van Helsing's going to be stuck in Botanical all game, just keep him there. He'll get a stake eventually, surely. And if he gets unlucky, then okay. Old stakes in the discard pile. I guess he doesn't need them because he knows it can't.
Maybe he was thinking, okay, he's thinking Dracula just wolf form for the Mediterranean. He's got to be in like Zurich or Milan or something, right? And so he says to himself, I'm going to renewed vigor. And it was only after that he thought, wait a minute, what if he just wolf formed to Cagliari? I better check that first. Right?
Oh, wow.
And then he checked it. That's the only thing I could think of. Vampiric influence, that's pretty big right now.
She has renewed vigor.
No!
She has renewed vigor. Oh my goodness.
You don't want a night supply when Mina has the important cards.
Oh,
no.
what got discarded? Yeah, well played, Terminus. He got rid of the renewed vigor, and they can push her away. So worst case scenario is only Seward jumping on you now.
I mean, does it even matter though?
You can play like double fog now with a lot of safety.
Rufus. Maybe it does matter now, because if Dracula goes to C, he's at 4, then he moves again and he's at 2. So he no longer... That's Saturday and Sunday, but then Monday night he lands to win.
I don't think... do you...
Yeah,
Maybe you take... Maybe you take...
go to C and go to Ionian and you win.
I think here's the way you do it, right? If this is a fog... Okay, never mind. If this is a fog, you can play double fog, because if Seward jumps on you, he can't forewarn both. But he's going to... I'm a bit worried here that suddenly CG gets drawn, and he gets forced.
That's the only out. That's the only out for the Hunters, if I'm not mistaken. You have to draw the CG.
Ruth is actually critical here. You stay on land with Rufus.
Yes.
Oh, no!
If Dracula goes to Ionian, he's down to 2 health. Then you CG and you cover up Salonika and Athens, and he loses.
Yep, you're spot on. Wow, he should have stayed on land. He should have baited Seward in. If you're really worried, feed.
Why though? Oh yeah, I definitely feed. I don't understand why you didn't feed. I would have loved a good feed. But, I mean, if they had the excellent weather, surely they would have just used it, right? Then again, they're supplying right now.
I think maybe you're right. Maybe you work off the assumption that Seward does not have excellent weather, because why on earth would he have not used it, right? If Mina... If you want to get 2-on-1, you could have moved Mina into the sea last night, right? Yesterday, you could have horsed to Marseille instead of railing. I think you might have done, and then go into the sea. And then you could use excellent weather and jump on 2-on-1. I think you actually stay here. I think you should have stayed in Cagliari. I think you work off the assumption excellent weather does not exist, or you just feed and you survive anyway.
But when he went to the Terranian, when he left Cagliari, Rufus Smith hadn't yet been played. That's an important thing to factor. He was thinking, I've got it in the bag because all I have to do now is go to Ionian, and I'll be at 3 hit points, and then even CG won't stop me.
Yeah. And I think also
if they CG the ports, you just go to Black Sea or Adriatic, and now you win.
Right.
But that's off the table now.
I think it's directly you actually wait one more turn in Cagliari as well, because I mean if you go to Tyrrhenian, you can then just land to win on Monday, right? You don't have to move
to play CG just to keep you at sea at that point, and then you win.
Right, but then it doesn't matter, you still win anyway, because you got enough health. It'd only be if the fight with Seward goes so badly that you... But I think you take the punt here, and if Seward had a good, excellent weather, potential forewarned, just send him in anyway and try and really hurt Dracula. With Aggie as well?
I mean, yeah, he might have had the heroic leap and all that, but with Dracula would have been at 9 hit points. That fight could have potentially... I mean, a lot would have been on the line there. He's opted to instead, take the less, quote-unquote, less risky option. But now he's putting his hopes on the idea that they can't CG him.
Oh,
okay, this is Ionian, 100%. So
it has to be. Yeah, it has to be.
Spencer Wolfhard, if he was Mr. Green right now, and he had CG, he would call GG in the chat right now. Right? If it was Mr. Green, he would.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. Now, he also can supply for it. There's 9 cards in the event deck, and he's got 400 who can supply for it.
He's got basically a 50% chance of winning the game right now. Oh my!
And he's got nothing better to do.
No, he's never gonna catch him.
It's not like you're gonna catch him, right? He's just gonna land. So.
My goodness.
10 points is such a sticky spot for hunters.
Right.
That's like the magic number. 7 is bad, but 10 is terrible.
And this is why Pirate Dracula doesn't work. Okay, so that... Oh, okay, so it was a 2 and 9. because there were 2 Dracula cards there.
Now what you do as Spencer Wolfhart, you type GG in the chat and you let Dracula. Oh, there it is. I was gonna say you type GG in the chat and you let Dracula sit there and sweat over what you mean by it. Like
Oh,
GG for
wow.
me or is it GG for you, right?
I mean, the problem is, like, I understand the
He has no
risk, right?
devilish power. That's
Imagine
it.
imagine the situation if Seward goes in here, pummels you, and then suddenly Rufus Smith comes into play. You're in a really
Yeah.
sticky spot.
Yeah, it's like even worse.
Oh, I bet he should have stayed. I think he should have baited him. Either hide to put out an additional counter, try and play fog. The fact that Mina's got a forewarned,
You don't
maybe you plan
actually
off the
need to put all
idea.
those down.
Yeah, he's just doing it for swag points. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I still would have put double in Athens. You know, just in case you maybe forgot that he was actually holding devilish power and you forgot about
Yeah,
that.
but he didn't have any. He didn't have any Dracula
Double
cards.
down on Athens. Yeah, yeah, I know.
So this is the downside to the strategy that Terminus has employed, right? He should have rumored the Swansea thing to force them to go after it a lot more, and then
That extra 3 points would have made the difference. It would
Yeah.
either won the game or force them to deal with it.
exactly, right, and that's even then less turns that Van Helsing's supplying, and they got down to 6 cards, right? Goodness me.
If when he returned to Swansea like that, if he'd have gotten some more value, then yeah,
Yes.
I agree. It might have been worth it. Maybe a second hideout
Yes,
with another vampire.
right. He could have.
Maybe,
He could
yeah,
have hidden in Liverpool.
maybe a hide card. Right.
Feed,
yeah,
and
precisely.
then
Get
leave.
some more, get some kind of value out of it, because it seemed really clever, right? Now you've got this lair or this hideout with extra encounters, and the hunters are forced to go deal with it, and it's in the middle of England. Terrible spot for them to have to pack up and go, right? So it seems really clever on the surface, but you have to think like grand strategy wise. Whenever Dracula moves by sea several spaces, only to wolf form and land, and then immediately pack up and go to sea again, in any other situation, we would say that Dracula is losing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he goes to sea, he wolf forms, he puts down 1 encounter, and on the very next turn he goes back to sea. Like,
Well, he did
without
feed.
any other context.
He did feed.
Okay, he fed too, but still, without any other
In Swansea.
context, you would usually say it looks like he's really down, probably, right? So he's putting a lot of stock in the location, the fact that it was in such an awkward spot for the hunters to deal with.
Right.
But yeah, long term, it doesn't change the fact that you're basically just sailing around.
So it looks like actually Seward did have excellent weather, which kind of begs the question why he didn't go in that turn. I don't really fully understand. Or move Mina into the sea, so then you threaten a renewed vigor the next day 2-on-1.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure what he was thinking there, because Dracula, if Rufus Smith hadn't been drawn, Dracula probably would have won.
Right, but we'll take it, if Seward has Heroic Leap, as I say, or Planned Ambush, then suddenly, yeah, that fight could have gone really badly, and then Rufus Smith appeared. Why? Oh, he didn't have Heroic Leap. He didn't have that on Seward, or that makes it imply that he had it in general.
Or maybe Dracula's standing on fog in Cagliari.
Right. But then the thing is, then try to hide. It does Seward have Forewarned? What if he doesn't have Forewarned? They'd use both Speedy. How do they use both Speedy Telegraphs? They use 1 Speedy Telegraph at least. Yeah, Rufus was MVP there, and the fact that he switched, he baited like Dracula to leave. He was caught between like, do I want Seward jumping onto my location, or do I want to have to deal with Rufus? And in the end, Rufus was worse because he was
wisely saved the surprising return for that. Or did he just draw Rufus?
No, he just drew it. He
just drew him. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that situation, he basically made Dracula really scared to leave. But I would have, he might have still lost if Seward goes in there. But I think you have to take your chances and go, there's no way he doesn't draw CG here. You can't, you can't, the people in the chat are talking about RNG. I think RNG will be against you most times, but you've just supplied that much.
I mean, the deck had 8 cards in it by the end of the game.
6, I think. Even fewer 6.
6
Yeah.
for crying out loud! I don't think I've ever seen it that low.
I've seen people rinse it, but never like in a deliberate like they rinse the deck when they realize they can't win. But in this case, Spencer was legitimately had a chance to win because of the way the events fell.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when it's that low. But I mean, Dracula's health got so low that the hunters had multiple outs, right?
Yes.
Like,
yes. Yeah.
like excellent. The problem is Dracula is you want to be in a situation where the minimum number of cards can actually spell your doom, right? So if an excellent weather means you're dead, an heroic leap means you're dead, and a renewed vigor means you're dead, and a consecrated ground means you're dead, and a Rufus Smith also means you're dead, like that's not a good situation to be in.
No. No.
As opposed to just like, I have a buttload of health and everything's fine, and the only card that I'm worried about is CG, and that's it, right?
Right. And if you end up getting wombo, if the hunters have got every single top tier event and they wombo you, then you can be like, okay, I got a little bit unfortunate. I played the odds and I got walloped. But yeah, if you're planning going, oh my god, that could kill me, that could kill me, that could kill me, that could kill me, that could kill me. Lots of little individual things on their own could kill you. You're in a really bad spot.
Mm-hmm. It's not that so. It's not that dissimilar to when you're in a combat with Dracula and you have 4 HP and you're mesmerized, right?
Yeah.
It's like a claws could kill me, but if he fangs me, I might also die or take a bite, right?
Yeah.
So now instead of just having one card he can play that favors him, he has multiple paths to victory at that point. It's just that, but like on a macro sense.
So Quincy's saying that Night Supplies OP, he got Rufus via Night Supplies. He must have got really lucky with the Night Supplies, because he didn't give Dracula a card at all. He gave him Vampiric Influence, but that was the only card he gave him. And it could have been critical, because he lost Renewed Vigor. He did give him a Great Wolf, but that was much earlier, to be fair. But yes, yes. Vampiric Influence could have been awful.
He lost the Renewed Vigor, but that's what I was trying to say when I said, does it even matter? Because Dracula had enough points that the Renewed Vigor wasn't going to kill him, really. Like, Dracula, all he had to do was go to sea and land again, and he'd be at 13, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, what's the big deal if you do lose the Renewed Vigor? And I'm not saying he necessarily thought of that. Like, he thought, oh, if I hit the Vampiric Influence, it's not the end of the game. But in truth, it was not. Like, losing that Renewed Vigor there, unless
didn't actually matter.
Missing something, I really don't think it made any difference. Like, not just because of the final outcome, but because of the situation as it was presented.
Yeah. Especially the fact that the deck was so low. He was just... Yeah. If he'd sniped CG, there's a different story. Then he wins, just by landing in from Ionian, right? And there's no problem. Or Devilish Power to
if I'm not mistaken, I think we've seen Spencer do that this tournament. I could be mistaken.
Snipe CG.
Night Supply and then hit Vampiric Influence and loses the CG because Amina's holding it.
That doesn't ring a bell.
I could be mistaken. I don't want to heap that onto Spencer if that didn't happen, but I just feel like I saw somebody do that. Which, it could happen to anybody.
I've seen Mina draw some really good stuff this tournament and reveal it. Like, she's revealed Renewed Vigor at least 4 times this tournament, just by supplying it first. I think a CG as well, so...
yeah, I played with my sister the other night and revealed CG on her first supply. I said to her, hey, pay attention. This is how you get good at this game. Look what I'm holding. And she's like, oh, it's that one.
Yeah, and try and quickly check. Hi, Ariel. Yeah, so I didn't say because we got such an exciting finale, but the game between Ariel and Randiv finished insanely fast, I think, by the looks of it. It's in the chat, so it's been spoiled, but it looks like Ariel might have beaten Randiv in 9 days.
Holy moly.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal ending. Goodness sake.
You never know when you're playing this game as the Hunters when you can just accidentally open up a huge can of worms and then it spirals out of control really quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, Mina steps on a vampire. That's rumored, right?
Yeah.
Mina gets killed by it in a night fight, and then the vampire matures. You're already at 9 points or 10 points, depending on. I
Mhm.
think 10, because you get an extra one for the mesmerized fang combo at night.
Right, right.
So I mean, you can literally just put one foot out the door, make one little mistake, and all of a sudden Dracula has 10 points.
Yeah.
And then all he has to do is, I don't know, mature one more vampire,
Or kill Mina
get a
again or
couple reckless
something.
fangs.
Yeah.
Yeah, stalk
Yeah.
Mina, finish her off at the hospital, like
Yeah.
JB Philly likes to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can really get out of control fast.
Terminus in the chat. Hi, Terminus. Hello. Yeah, very unlucky. We thought you had it. I should have wolf formed to Spain. I don't think you needed a wolf form at all, to be honest. I don't think it was necessary. I don't mind the fake wolf form to Cagliari. Problem is, it got spotted, which was the issue, and then you're down a health. Maybe you just could have kept going, and maybe wolf form to Bari because you're further away. But then Gadami tried to carry us to Venice.
Yeah, I mean, a different day of the week, Spencer Wolfhart might have, wasted a lot of time checking all those cities where you might have wolf formed to, right? Spain, uh, the southern France region, right? Those
Yeah.
Italian cities. He might have messed up checking all those places, and then that could have made the difference between CG or no CG.
hmm Absolutely. And also just like I mean, we were saying in terms when you went back to Swansea, which we thought was really cool. I think you should have rumored that spot instantly to make the hunters really have to deal with it, because Van Helsing was able just to let it mature and it was fine. And if Van Helsing doesn't get the stake to deal with it, then another hunter has to go over there. If they suddenly realize it was a new vampire and Van Helsing can't kill it alone. I think, yeah, we're talking about it, that you should have maybe tried to get more value out of your second botanical wolf form. Go to Swansea, rumor it instantly, so it's done, and you have to think about it again. Go to Liverpool, rumor that, feed, and then leave. And then suddenly you got 3 or 4 rumored encounters that the hunters have to deal with, and they would not be able to just sit there on the continent like the rest of Europe. Like, they didn't just supply. And then I don't know when he got consecrated ground, but then you know, you might have been able to avoid the consecrated ground at the ending. Or if the vampire matures, then you just win anyway, and you don't have to worry about the whole extra movement and suddenly getting jumped on a Cagliari and all this stuff. Oh, but I think the game didn't give me the option to rumor it. That's weird.
Maybe we missed something.
Is it possible you didn't have a rumor available? How many rumor tokens had you used at that point? I think you only used you only used one. I think at that point you should have been able to rumor it. Unless there's a bug that when you wolf form onto... No, I've seen people wolf form onto layers. And, oh, don't tell me it's because you're wolf forming from the sea. There's some sort of bug with that. But you should be. You're going into a city, which is...
Oh, well, okay. Dracula can put down a rumor when he moves by land, right?
Yeah.
Is moving from sea to a port considered moving by land? Or is it considered moving by sea?
No, because it's when you play a city location card is when you play the rumor token.
Okay, that's how it's phrased. Okay, yeah.
No,
well,
but
when you play the city card, then yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I know, Strider. I'm not saying to place it at sea. You play the rumor token as soon as you land in Swansea to guarantee. So even if you do get forced to sea quickly because you're scared about renewed vigor, it's now rumored. Yeah, you can't play when feeding either. Yeah, that's correct. So that's why we're saying it live. As soon as you go to Swansea, if there's a risk you're going to feed and then you're going to get surrounded, just play the rumor token instantly and it's done. And you don't have to think about it. You don't have to think about it anymore. If it didn't give you the option, that's a bit strange. I might have to go through the live stream and count the number of rumor tokens, but I think you said you've only used one, so you should have had another one at that point. So that doesn't make sense to me. I don't know.
Well, if nothing else, it certainly goes to show the power of the rumor token.
Yes. Massive.
Because even if there wasn't a vampire there to begin with, it still forces the hunters to deal with that location or risk losing the game. And that's fewer supplies, right? Every turn that Van Helsing has to move on to a city, and then he has to search it out, right? That's a one less supply for the day action, and potentially even one less for the night action too if he's night supplying. And that's a night that Van Helsing can't trade either.
Yeah,
So it eats
absolutely.
into their action economy when they have to deal with these things, whatever it might be. And yeah, I've heard Quincy Morris say once, like when he was newer at the game, and I feel the same way. Like when I was newer at the game, the rumor token just seems so overpowered. Like what? Dracula matures a single vampire and he's already more than halfway to victory. It seems crazy. But once you're really experienced at it, you realize he kind of needs them. It's tough to imagine him winning without them.
Yeah, it's almost impossible. At this level, it's almost impossible to do so. And
E-
it's kind of funny when...
even
There you go.
even if you don't actually get the juicy mature, right? Let's say you can actually win games by just maturing 3 and 4 point vampires repeatedly. It can happen, but in order to do that, you kind of need the misdirection that the rumor token provides you, if nothing else.
Right.
Right? Like even if you're not actually getting that 7 point mature, you're still getting value out of the rumor by misdirecting the hunters.
Right, exactly. And that's the point. You're putting pressure on the hunters that you have to go and deal with that thing. Otherwise, and when I first joined the community, I mean, Roscoe can testify, and also Warecraft can testify to this, that when we used to play, we actually came up with a house rule. A, not to play with rumor tokens, and then also to do it that you can only play rumor tokens once Dracula's Trail had been discovered, or it was the second week. But the thing was, it just meant that without rumor tokens, the hunters could just supply even more, which is good when you're learning, because then it gets you into the mentality of supply, 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 and you get those good events, and then you learn as a hunter how to use those events, which is critical. But as Dracula, you haven't got as many ways to leverage like pressure, right? You need to tell the hunters, look, there's that thing. You have to go and deal with it, otherwise I'm going to get loads of points from it, and you're losing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you'll lose less time in the fourth week, blah 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 blah, right? And that's really important.
Otherwise, it becomes too easy for them to simply ignore the trail, even with the threat of the hoax.
Right.
It's just like, yeah, you're gonna get a hoax, okay, big deal, but we're gonna chase you down and just ignore your trail, because the worst you're gonna end up with is like a bodyguards and a hoax,
Yeah.
and 4 points.
Who cares, right?
Right? Who cares?
Yeah. So I think
We'll
the
just go beat you
thing,
up.
yeah, and I think the thing is like, I don't think it matters. I mean, everyone's going to have slightly different opinions on should you play the rumor token first or should you hold your rumor tokens until later in the game. I don't think that really matters, but they're an essential tool. And it's kind of funny when you get people who've come into the community before for 1 or 2 games, and I played them, and I play as hunters because they want to play as Dracula. And they're like, "Oh, we'll turn rumor tokens off." I'm like, I don't think you want to do that. Like, no, no,
You
no,
don't
no.
want to do that, mate.
When I play with my friends, I have to walk into the hunters to help them find me, and then they start playing against us, and they're like, "Oh my god!" Right? And you see on BGG, people saying,
It's terrified.
"Rumor tokens are overpowered." Like, they are not overpowered. If you're playing against an experienced hunter who knows what they're doing, rumor tokens are 100% vital. Are they a little bit too strong? I'm not saying that. I'm just throwing the question out there. Should they maybe be tuned down so it's 2 additional influence points, not 3? Maybe, but that's a different discussion.
Right. They're a key part of the gameplay loop and the Dracula
Yes,
strategy.
it's a resource.
Even if you just put them down on a bats, that's like
Yes.
a guaranteed bats now. And then you can factor that in. You can go, all right, he's gonna hit that bats, so I'm gonna put a wolves right next to it, and then I'm gonna bat him into the wolves, right? Something like that. Anything really. The point is you can strategize around it, as opposed to just like, I'm gonna put a bunch of cards on the trail and just sort of cross my fingers and hope that it works out for me.
I'm just seeing in the chat, there's a little bit of discussion about the table. Strider says, the chat would like to know. Yeah, you want to know, Strider. Okay, so Terminus wants to know. Okay, so I think it's fair, because I would love the table to be always public knowledge, is what it is. So I'm going to have to quickly, I'll keep this screen up, but what I'll do is, I might go robotic for a bit, I apologize. I'm going to do some quick calculations on the table. I won't be able to confirm your exact ranking, but I can at least plug in the win and losses. I don't think IDS is going to matter at this point. I'm going to quickly plug in the results of the matches today, just the wins and losses, and let's just see what that means for the table, because I guess people want to know if they're in or out. They can't wait till Sunday. Tell me if I'm in or out.
Understandable.
Understandable. Yeah, I would love to have it like permanently like visible, but it's just. I mean, we could give you the document that the admin uses, but then I'm worried because there's so many formulas and stuff, and if one thing gets touched, I won't know what is wrong, and trying to fix it is going to take ages. So let's plug in that result. Uh, yeah, because I don't want to speak out of turn either. I think I know what the state of the table is, but I don't want to then suddenly be like, oh yeah, you've qualified or whatever. And then it turns out on Sunday, oh sorry, I was wrong. That'd be awful.
Scott's were the liar.
Exactly. Oh my goodness,
What?
Randiv got 10 influence against Ariel, but then lost within the 9 days. What the hell?
Wait, Randiv was Dracula?
Randiv was Dracula.
Oh my! So he got 10 influence, but
Yeah.
died in the second week.
Yeah.
That's that's really not as crazy as it sounds. Like Dracula matures a vampire, all of a sudden the trail is wiped, and then he's standing there with his pants down because they reveal him with hired scouts or something, right?
Yeah.
And then they could just safely ignore the trail and tackle him, and he's called out after a wolf form.
Hey, Pizza Wizard. Hello.
I
Yeah,
think that's the real trick. Go on. No, sorry.
I was gonna say, try saying view only. Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know if it works because I'm having to set up different links for admin and view, and I don't know if it works like that. And I don't want to get it wrong. It's something that for future tournaments I want to look into properly. It's just not enough time in the world. Right. Let's have a look. I haven't calculated medium buck holds, or haven't updated medium buck holds in IDS, so if there's potential doubt, I'll tell you. Is there any way this could be different? Okay, I've got the table. So, yeah, because of the result between Ariel and Randiv earlier today, Geo and Terminus, you are in the knockouts. Because well, congratulations. Congratulations, Terminus, new player in the knockouts. Very well done. Yeah, because
absolutely
the only other players who've got games to play below cannot get enough wins to beat you, Terminus. And JB Philly is actually outside of the top 12. But if you were inside the top 12, then you'd have got it anyway. So yeah, Geo, you've still got a game to play, but you're guaranteed knockout. Terminus, you're guaranteed knockout. But obviously, remember, Geo, if you win, that will improve your position for the knockout phase itself, right? So don't rest on your laurels now. So yeah, so from what I can see, all the people who are currently inside top 12 will remain inside top 12 unless there's we're gonna double check everything and make sure that there's no errors. So just I'll say this, like, this announcement is not official. I think everything's been done correctly, and it means if you've counted and you got 7 wins, Terminus, then yes, you are in the knockouts guaranteed. There's no way you can't be. But we're going to double check everything to be certain that there's no mess ups. But yeah, very well done. Congratulations. Especially being a newer player, having to then also go up against JB Philly in the previous phase, which was not ideal. That was not how you expected it to pan out. You've played very well. 7 wins. Very good stuff. So there's a few games still to go. How many games left? We've got 8 games left. Is that right? Pizza Wizard's got 2. Strider's got 2 more, so that's 4. Spencer Quincy, that's 5. Geo 6. I can only count 7. Why am I... Pizza Wizard Snuff, that's 2. Strider Skybreaker, that's another 2. Quincy Spencer, that's 1. Geo Marley 1. Oh, Wormtail and Lanchnet on result Lanchnet. Yep, 8 games left. Did Pizza Wizard make it? Pizza Wizard, we're not sure
Did he
about.
make the cut?
I don't know. I can't confirm right now if Pizza Wizard made the cut. Yeah, Strider, yes, you are confirmed. Strider is definitely also in the knockouts, but obviously you've got to try to improve your standing, right? So the games against Skybreaker are not meaningless at all.
Well, of course Strider made it.
Of course,
Come
Strider
on.
made it. Can't have a
How could he
knockout
not?
without Strider. Come on. Yeah, Peter was absolutely right. Everything's still up for grabs, right? Because even though the top 12 players are confirmed, the rankings within the top 12 are not fixed at all. We still don't know who's going to finish top. We don't know what the makeup of the top 4 is going to be. Inside then the bracket from 5th to 12th, we don't know what... We know what the players are going to be, probably. Well, mostly there's maybe one player that might swap in or out, but we don't know what the order's going to be. And that then makes a huge difference in terms of who plays who in the knockouts. So yeah, it's still a lot to account for and play for.
Heck yeah.
So there you go.
There sure is. I like it.
What numbers play what? So it's just simply going to be from the people from 5th to 12th. It's going to be 5th plays 12th, 6th plays 11th, and so on. So the higher up you get, in theory, you get the easier draw. Because you're playing against somebody who is, compared to you, lower.
Okay,
And then,
okay.
so it's done by proper seeding. So in theory, the way it'll work out is in the assuming the higher seeds always win, the quarterfinals will be 1st versus 8th, 2nd versus 7th, 3rd versus 6th, 4th versus 5th. And then the semi-final, assuming the higher seed wins, will be 1st versus 4th, 2nd versus 3rd. And then the final will be, in theory, 1st versus 2nd. But I don't think it's going to work out that way. I bet there's going to be some upsets, and lower seeds are going to win. I don't know at what stage exactly, but it's so close, especially that bracket between 5th and 12th. It's like you're maybe looking, well, maybe 5th might be slightly further away, but from 6th to 12th, there could only be one win between everybody, and that's almost nothing. Like, it's good if you got 6 plays, that's really good going, but one win out of 16 games between 6 and 12 plays, that's so little. That's right, Pizza Wizard. Yeah, we'll have like basically 10 days off, more or less. The people in the top 4 will get like a bye into the quarterfinal. So yeah, that's probably a good point. If anybody wants practice, we could maybe try and, like, it'll be mutually beneficial, right, for us to practice. And also then, if anybody else they want to practice. Yeah. Oh, what do you mean if you do end up in top 4, Pizza Wizard? I think you're guaranteed top 4 at this stage. Your win against me was very crucial. That guaranteed it for you.
Oh, spoilers. That's okay.
Spoilers. But we don't know who's going to finish top, though. We don't know what the makeup of the top 4 is going to be exactly, right? It's all over the place.
Now that I know who won that game, why don't you tell me what happened?
Oh, sorry. I thought you'd watched it. Oh,
no, it's okay.
Crap. Oh, I got shot on.
Oh, really?
I tried to take the early risk. I must admit, I played very absent-mindedly. I mean, the easy summary is Pizza Wizard played amazingly, and I played very absent-minded. And when you got that combination, there's only one result.
Right.
I did not manage my encounter. My encounter hand was a bit meh, and my combat cards were awful, by the way. I just couldn't draw good stuff. At least I took a hunter down with me before I got walloped.
Hey, that's the spirit.
But yeah, it was no, Pizza Wizard didn't get in my head. I don't need Pizza Wizard to get in my head when the cards conspire against me. And I myself, I got in my own head. Right? But then I think the play I made at the end made sense. I think if that play had worked out for me, I would have been in a very strong position going, not a great position moving forward. But I did mess up encounter cards. I wasted a vampire, which I shouldn't have done. But I think, given the way then the combat turned out, if I'd just gone away with that, I would have been in a much stronger position. So I had to take the risk, and it didn't work. So, is what it is. Peter Wood played very well. He deserved to win. End of story. He played very efficiently.
That's the life of a vampire.
Exactly.
But it just doesn't pan out.
So there you go. Now we know. We've watched two amazing, crazy games today. The Hunters are making a bit of a comeback in terms of win rate, which is good to see. Yeah. And now some of you kind of know if you're in the knockouts or not. So that's congratulations to those who have made it. But obviously on Sunday, I think all the games will be played by Sunday, so we'll be able to release the table fully. But remember, people, even if you know you're in the knockouts, still try to win your games, because obviously if you can benefit and get a better draw for the knockouts, then that just works out for you in the long run. So I was on the outskirts of Scottle's mental fortress. Say again?
Yeah, still something to play for in that regard.
Always something to play
yourself, set yourself up for a better second half here in the knockout phase.
Absolutely, and also just like the sort of the mental boost, right, to win your final game. So, yup. Okay. I think given there's no round of aerial game finished very quickly, and there's no need to go on to that, then maybe we should call it a night. I don't know about you, Gyro, but I'm absolutely. I mean, it is called to 1 my time, and you've been prepared to stream with me since like 6 hours ago, more or less. So, you're probably fed up with me and want a break.
It has been a labor of love. It has been fun, everybody. But yeah, I think it's time to call it a night on Fury of Dracula. I agree.
Absolutely. Yeah, but very enjoyable. I don't know if there are any games tomorrow. I don't think there are, actually. I don't know if there are any on Friday either. There can't be 8 games at the weekend. That just seems too many. Maybe there's a game later tonight, by the way, everybody. Wormtalon is playing Landsknecht tonight. I can't remember who's playing which side. Oh. I don't know if anybody's streaming it. It's going to take place in... check the Discord. I think it might be in 45 minutes.
Oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
All right, that's just enough time for me to eat my dinner.
Let me have a quick scoot of the Discord. Yeah, Landsknecht versus Wormtalon. So Landsknecht playing as Hunters is taking place in 45 minutes from now. Yeah, then tomorrow... Do we quickly check and see what games are on tomorrow? I don't think there are any on Friday, because I was looking for something related with that, and then I didn't see any on Friday. So maybe there are games tomorrow. Then I know Strider's playing double at the weekend. I know Pizza Wizard and Snuff are playing double at the weekend. So that's 4 games accounted for. There's only 3 more after that. I think tomorrow, or today is, well, I guess it's today for me now. 24th of October. Nothing. Well, I assume not. When are Spencer and... Oh, people don't write in the spreadsheet! When is the match between Spencer and Quincy? Nope, they're playing tomorrow. 7 p.m. Central. What's that? What's that in UTC language? That's like midnight. What's Central? Is Central UTC minus 5?
Central Time is an hour behind Eastern Time.
But that doesn't make sense, because Quincy's saying 7 p.m. Central and Spencer's saying 6 p.m., but he's on the West Coast. But there's Mountain Time in between. I don't understand. That makes no sense. This is why we use UTC. And you're even talking about 2 people inside the same country. Okay, whatever.
And I'm an American. And I'm voting.
So it's some point tomorrow, but probably around like this time tomorrow, more or less, is going to be that game. And then Geobook Marley Friday. Ah, crap. I might have double booked myself on Friday. I want to watch Gio's game. I haven't watched any of Gio's games lately. Oh well. And then there's some of the weekend. So yeah, we're almost at the end. 8 games, more or less, left of the league.
Nice.
And then knockout. And that's when it really... That's when it really... Oh, Strider might be playing Skybreaker tonight. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm off to bed before I get even any more confused.
Yes. You go take care of your wife as well.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, she's doing fine. She's doing better. But yeah, it's just
Good.
sleeping like a baby, completely unaware of the Fear of Dracula epicness. That's just
Blissfully unaware.
yeah. Oh, sorry, Gio. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see your game again.
I'll record it. I'll be
Oh,
around.
you
I'll
legend.
record it.
I'm going to be in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
okay.
I'm just gonna eat some dinner here, and then I'll double check the schedules and everything. I'm not doing anything though, so I'll start getting the stream ready in a bit.
Oh, that's for lunch. I won't have no problem. Okay. Oh well, Gyro, it's been a pleasure. You deserve a break.
Absolutely, my buddy.
So
Yeah, I've had a great time. Wouldn't miss it for anything.
And thank you for the game earlier too. That was really good fun. And thank you for everybody.
Great time.
Thank you everybody who's in chat. Strider, Terminus, Geordie, Pizza Wizard, Roscoe was here earlier as well. Anybody who checked this out afterwards, thank you very much. And yeah, keep an eye out for other games. And then yeah, as soon as all the games get wrapped up, we'll announce the league, the fully completed league table. And then we will tell you all the proper permutations for knockout. We've got some admin stuff to do, so we might need a little bit of time just to make sure everything's organized from our side of things. But we'll do it as soon as we can, basically. Okay, so yeah, take care, folks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video at some point. Check out all the other people who record games. You'll find the links in the description. Go and give them a subscribe, likes, ring the bell, all that good stuff. And yeah, see you soon, everybody. Take care, everybody. Take care, Gyro.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Scott Sword.